No, what do you mean by popular
Look at
vote
how
and
Sanjeev
conduct?
Bhatt addresses.
No, what do you...
One minute.
I have a counter question. 1 minute. One minute. You said popular vote. 1 minute. Yatin Oza, 1 minute. Yatin Oza, 1 minute. Question here is to you tonight.
Yes.
If that is your logic, then the people of Delhi who have suffered the 1984 riots have also forgiven the Congress party. So you can't raise the 1984 issue anymore because the Congress party has been in power for a long time in Delhi. So
But
no. So you take that argument, you buy the line.
Now I am not on that.
No, but that's what you just said.
But look at how people are. 1 minute. Look at how people are after his blood. Even if he expresses remorse, next day debate would start. Remorse means admission. Remorse means acceptance of crime. This all things would start. Look at how brutally...
Isn't that too defensive a way of looking at it?
He is still a government...
Shabnam Hashmi.
He is still a government servant. He is 1 minute. He is still a government servant. And he addresses not as honorable the Chief Minister. He addresses Mr. Sanjeev Bhatt. He has no business to address the Chief Minister as Narendra Modi or Modi.
Narendra
he is a government servant
not an honorable
and he
man,
has to address whether he likes it or not.
Narendra Modi is a common criminal. He is not an honorable man.
In his place, I would have dismissed you for this.
No, one second.
The government, please go ahead and do it.
No, 1 second. One second. Why such?
Arnab.
Yes, Siddharth Nath Singh wants to come in. Yes, please, Siddharth.
Arnab, few things I would like to say. One, I think we must maintain a decorum and language on this your channel. I know this can get heated up, but we must also realize there are certain facts to it. There was a Godhra, there was a post-Godhra. The riots are condemnable. Both things are condemnable. Now for the natural justice with my good friend Manish Tiwari has been talking about, a natural justice requires that there needs to be a proper investigation to it. There were sets of investigation through commissions and all, and I think we must give credence to what Supreme Court did. They appointed an SIT 2 years under the chairmanship of a professional person, an IPS officer who's known for his integrity and also his objectivity with independence, investigated. And Mr. Modi, being the Chief Minister, did not run away from the investigation. There was a criminal, and he submitted himself. Now, no charges have been framed against him. Nothing has been found. Now, political activists and certain detractors of Modi, they try to recycle the allegation, which have been unproven by the SIT, because they cannot challenge Mr. Modi on the other front of his development and administration.
Well, there is no link. No, 1 second, Siddharth. Sorry, Siddharth, there is no link between what you and Swapan Das Gupta are saying about development and riots. I mean, Delhi has developed a lot.
Why?
Delhi has developed a lot. Would you say tomorrow, because there are lots of flyovers in Delhi? Let me ask Swapan Das Gupta. One second. Swapan Das Gupta.
No, I'm sorry.
You raised this hand.
Arnab, I'm sorry.
Why?
Arnab, you must understand that Delhi has not developed under one Chief Minister who has been targeted now and then. He's been demonized.
No, but that's not the point.
Mr. Modi, who has worked last 10 years tirelessly for the state of Gujarat. And therefore we are saying, look at his administration. You have not been able to. That's not
the point. I want this part of the debate handled straightforward. Swapan Das Gupta raised it. Manish wants to respond before that. My simple question is, what is the link between development and riots? Does one mitigate the other? Is development a balm over riots? I don't see the link there. But Manish wants to respond to Siddharth Nath Singh. Yes, Manish.
Well, I just wanted to point out to my esteemed friend, Mr. Siddharth Nath Singh, that, you know, when they refer to the Supreme Court or when they refer to the SIT, they should not refer to it selectively. They should actually read the plethora of judgments which the Supreme Court has delivered over the past 10 years in various Gujarat-related cases. And in one of those matters, the Supreme Court observed that while the Neros of Gujarat were fiddling, Gujarat was burning. That is also what the Supreme Court has observed. So therefore, you know, to try and make this tenuous link between development and the lack of justice, you know, to try and, you know, whitewash the crimes of the state, I don't think really washes with anybody, because, you know, Arnab, riots are one part of it. What you've also seen between 2002 and 2011,
Wow.
you know, is a string of fake encounters, you know, involving people of a particular
1 minute, Mr.
community,
Oza.
which led the Supreme Court to wrap the Gujarat government only last week once again.
No, no,
So therefore, you know, there is an entire pattern of extremely reprehensible behavior on part of the state, you know, which no argument,
before your rebut, let me go to Swapan Das Gupta.
which no kind of diabolical diatribe.
Let me go to Swapan Das Gupta.
manner.
Let me get to Swapan Das Gupta. Let him come in.
Arnab, just a quick record.
1 minute, because he started this debate.
Tiwari should also remember. Mr. Manish Tiwari should also remember what Supreme Court said on the administration and referred the central government to follow the PDS system which Gujarat and Chhattisgarh are
Come on,
following.
you know.
So he should not
Come
be
on,
looking at the half glass.
Siddharth, what is the link
Mr.
between the
Siddharth
PDS
Singh,
system?
Again,
What's it?
The link that you're trying to make, you know, between ostensible development, which also I can blow holes into, does not exist.
No, I want to ask Swapan Das Gupta.
Manish.
1 minute. So tomorrow, suppose in Orissa, there's the Khandamal riots. The Naveen Patnaik can turn around and say, Swapan Das Gupta, by your logic and by what Siddharth Singh has taken further, that, you know, there's a great deal of development. Over a period of time, I have built great infrastructure. The economic indices are going up, my industrial development has gone up, and therefore, look at my record in context. But we are not talking about the development record at all, Mr. Das Gupta. We are simply saying why a chief minister has not expressed remorse for a riot. That's it.
I think you better. I think we were talking about two different things. What is the connection between development and riots?
Yes.
And I think you'll find that by and large, the greater the prosperity, which, with some exceptions, the inclination for communal flashpoints becomes far less. That is something which we've observed empirically throughout the country, and we're likely to see it in Gujarat, because today there is enough of a cake, there is an expanding cake for people to take advantage of. And I think it is sad that today, in the guise of seeking justice for the riot victims, we are trying to denigrate the entire development record of Gujarat, which to my mind, you know, which is very important, because if anything, it is the fact that people are preoccupied with economic activity.
Sure they are.
And the break
which
took place from 2002 to 2012 through stringent administrative measures, which Mr. Bhatt unfortunately describes as a Gestapo style. Now, that is not the language befitting a member of the bureaucracy. Because after all, we are talking about a democratically elected government, and that is no language to use in that.
Okay, now he wants to respond.
Soft and mild words to describe
so I think it's very important. What Mr. Manish Tiwari said, even Godra has to be attributed, even the Godra carnage has to be attributed to Narendra Modi. By that logic, are we going to say that Mrs. Indira Gandhi's assassination must be attributed to the Congress party or to Mrs. Gandhi's?
1 minute. Tempers are rising in the debate. Completely so. 1 minute, gentlemen. 1 minute. So I'm not forgetting that you're into the debate. I'm coming back to you, Shabnam Hashmi. But Swapan Das Gupta, you know, there are different views on it, on what you've said, you know, in terms of social sector spending as a proportion of public expenditure out of 21 states. Gujarat is 19.
I'm not talking about social sector alone. I'm talking about the economic growth of Gujarat.
Yeah, economic growth, 46%.
Economic growth of Gujarat.
So economic growth, 74% of women.
A GDP growth of more than 10% annually over the past decade.
Sure.
That is what I'm talking about.
So health indices, barely over Orissa. 46% of children and 74% of women are anemic. You know, these figures can also be pushed back because they're also indicators. But on your very strong rebut to Sanjeev Bhatt, I think he wants to respond to you. Go ahead,
Swapan. Your premise is wrong. Your basic premise that Gujarat, we don't have riots today because of economic development, that basic premise is wrong. We had economic development in Gujarat all throughout, still we had riots. The only link is that we did not have riots only when we had the BJP in power in Gujarat, for the simple reason that riots were not required. That is the truth. But having said that, even if there is development, as Manish said, we can blow holes in that theory of development. But can development ever be a substitute for undelivered justice?
Shabnam
The answer is no.
Shabnam Hashmi wants to respond to Siddharthnath Singh and Swapan Das Gupta as well on this tenuous link between development and riots on the 10th anniversary. Yes, go ahead, Shabnam Hashmi.
You see, one is this whole development that they are talking about. What about the 5,000 internally displaced colonies? Has anyone seen in what condition they live? There are no facilities whatsoever available. The development, even if we agree that there is development, it is not inclusive. What about the conditions of the Dalits, about the Adivasis? What about the women who are malnourished? What about the under 5 child mortality rate? What about the growing violence against women? I mean, what development are we talking about? Only snatching away the land from the farmers and building malls over it, is that development? Is that called development? And even if we say that there is development, but development cannot ensure that there is justice. And you're saying that 10 years have passed. I mean, can a woman, I mean, let's talk about Madina from Iran. Her own daughter, her niece was gang raped in front of her and then burned alive. And the people who did it are roaming free.
Why is this development?
Do you think this can be forgotten?
No, but why is development being used as a smoke screen? Why is it thrown at everybody who asks questions about the riots?
Not the word is a very loaded thing. Smoke screen.
No, you see, this whole vibrant Gujarat myth is going to be broken very soon. It is like the India Shining with the NDA thought.
1 minute. Now, Swapan is responding to you.
It is exactly the same thing about vibrant Gujarat. You need
Arnav, kindly give me 2 minutes.
Swapan Das Gupta is responding to you, Shabnam Hashmi. Shabnam Hashmi, if you don't listen to me, his point will not be made to you. He's responding to you. He was angry when we used the word smoke screen. Go ahead, Swapan.
Miss Hashmi, the people of Gujarat will have an opportunity to see if that development of Gujarat, which you're saying is a complete smoke screen or is completely bogus, at the end of the year, when there will be assembly elections. That will be the main agenda, will be the record of Narendra Modi's government over the past 5 or 10 years. That is certainly going to be the case. And I don't see why. That is, and if you go to Surat, if you go to Surat,
that does not that he is innocent. Hitler was also voted to power democratically.
That means nothing.
That does not mean that you can justify what happened in Germany.
Arnav, please.
Make up your mind. Either you're saying that the economic development is bogus, or you're saying something else.
Question tonight on the news hour is 1 minute.
I don't think that development can give you have done development, so you can do all the
Arnav, please, 1 minute.
1 minute.
Arnav, please,
1 minute. Question.